Yes, indeed, an absolutely fabulous concert in there. I told you, I warned you, a marvellous prelude to Australia's birthday tomorrow. What do you think?
Quite fantastic, absolutely brilliant. I think one of the high points for me was the Australian rock and roll theme.
Yeah.
That was absolutely brilliant. But then again, all the entertainers right through, I think it was just a wonderful, wonderful show. We had the opportunity to see most of it, apart from the television coverage, and it was just marvellous. Really hope you enjoyed it at home. The Prince and Princess of Wales are just coming out of the tunnel from the auditorium. There's been 10,000 people inside there tonight enjoying it.
Some very happy people in there
They are
too.
about to meet the stars of the evening. And of course, there we have Pat Condon, who is one of the promoters of this evening's event.
And with Prince Charles is David Mitchell, the producer of the event. And of course, that face he's shaking hands with now is one of the most famous faces in Australia. Actor Jack Thompson, who of course was the master of ceremonies for tonight's performance.
This is a terribly important moment, I think, for all the entertainers. And I don't care how blasé they may be in their industry, how many years they've been in the industry, it is still a real pleasure and a real joy.
Absolutely.
To come face to face with Prince Charles and Diana, the Princess of Wales.
Now, this is where, of course, the best laid plans of mice and men go completely astray, because people say, oh, the Prince will only chat for 5 or 10 seconds, and he's just spoken to Jack Thompson for about 2 minutes.
And, of course, Pamela Stephenson. What about that costume, Tim? What did you think of that?
I think it's supposed to be a whole lot of wattle. And
yes,
I mean
it is.
a whole lot of wattle.
And she looks great in it, too. She was very funny, in very good form this evening. She, of course, as we had her on Good Morning Australia the other day, she is a friend of the royals and has been
Indeed,
known, and it's been well documented that Diana and Fergie and Pamela have been out on the town together in London, all in costume.
Yes, that made the front pages of all the papers.
Yes, it certainly did. Wouldn't you love to know what they're just having a quiet chat about now?
I bet they had a top time. And next to Pamela, you can see just underneath Barry Crocker's quite huge armpit is Ginger Meg's young Brian Rooney, who so beautifully did the skit with Rolf Harris at tonight's performance. And there's Barry himself.
And Bazza the boy. Didn't he look good in that get-up with the cricket bat, the uniform and the lot?
There's the Princess of Wales just behind Prince Charles. She now having a chat to her mate,
and
Pamela Stephenson.
Looking wonderful. I really hope they enjoyed this evening's entertainment, because it really was wonderful. But I must admit, probably a pretty tough night after 25 and a half hours sitting on a plane.
I'd say so. Our apologies, too, for the odd head that dashes past your picture, but this is my first involvement up close to a royal performance, and I can't quite believe the amount of people who are here.
Well, it is almost pure bedlam here. The photographers, the journalists, the camera crews from right around the world. I mean, it really is quite an extraordinary scene here at the foyer of the Entertainment Centre.
Prince Charles moving on, talking to Jeannie Little. I think you can just see Jeannie.
Do you think she said,
a royal darlings, yes.
I wonder if she held herself back. We're not sure. I don't think she could have. She's trying to look very straight. I know Jeannie, and
yes,
she's trying to look very demure.
Now, there's the choreographer, both the choreographers, and what a marvellous job the dancers did. That's Ross Coleman, and next to him, Marie Plosky, who choreographed the dancing sequences for tonight, and it was fantastic.
Just brilliant. I mean, there were so many people involved, and again, the rock and roll was one of the high points for me for this evening. Apart from that, the finale, which they had 1,000 school children in there.
Any chance that Kerry and I have of actually catching a glimpse of the Prince and Princess of Wales is completely gone now, because behind us is just a sea of cameramen and photographers trying to get that shot that'll be on the front page of the Daily Mirror or the Daily Sun in London.
And again, the choreographers who did a fantastic job on the show this evening.
Here's the man that always does his own eye makeup. It's permanent. John English.
Wasn't that Ballarat scene good, the Gold Rush scene? I think
Lola Montez, she was infamous.
Oh, yes.
And John did it so well, as he always does. As he always does. Remember the marvellous performances in Jesus Christ Superstar, and, of course, latterly Rasputin. Just one of our great entertainers, John English.
In fact, Pirates of Penzance was one of my favourites with John English. A great singer, and I must admit, in the old days, he was, quote, just a pop star, but has proven himself to be one of Australia's best entertainers, all-round musical entertainers.
There's the maestro. In fact, 1, 2, 3, some of the best musicians this country has ever seen, past and present. Maestro Tommy Tico, Don Burrows, and James Morrison. And what a version of Road to Gundagai that was.
Never heard anything like that before, and I don't think we will for quite a long time.
You know, I think the royal watchers would say that this is unusual, because the Prince is really stopping to have a very lengthy chat with just about everybody in the line, and the Princess of Wales very animated there as she discusses the choreography, I think, with Ross and Marie.
Yes. You asked earlier this evening when the Princess arrived, Tim, about her dress, and I must admit it puzzled me for a moment as she sort of fleetingly flew through the foyer, but I gather it's a Bruce Oldfield dress. It's cream satin and shoes and handbags.
That's the famous designer in London.
That's the famous designer. And in fact, I know the Princess does a lot of work for the Barnard Boys Home, because Bruce Oldfield is an old Barnard's boy. And in fact, I believe in Australia she is doing some function or other with them. She is very proud of his designs, wears a lot of them. So there you go, girls, a double-breasted cream satin jacket over a short cream lace dress.
She would look beautiful in a Glad bag. She's just a very
glad
well,
bags.
I mean, this is I remember back a few years when they were here, I guess it must have been 83, I was working for Eyewitness News at the time, and I caught glimpses as they flashed past in cars, but this is the closest I've ever been, and she really is an astonishingly beautiful lady.
She is. When I met her last time in Australia, I just couldn't believe her translucent skin. She's got the most beautiful peaches and cream complexion and gorgeous eyes.
Moving along the line now, Prince Charles chatting with Russell Hitchcock and Graham Russell from Air Supply, and the most famous group exported from this country for hits in the United States, next to the Bee Gees. In fact, I think they only need one more #1 hit record and they'll be equal with the Bee Gees in America. And there she is, the beautiful Princess of Wales.
Yes. Noticing the sort of jewellery she's wearing this evening, it just looks like the pearls there. I can't really see anything from the front. Haven't had a good close-up look there myself yet.
There's Peter, shaking hands with the Prince.
She loves a lot of entertainment.
Oh, yes. She likes the rock and roll, too.
Loves the rock and roll. I think she might have liked Ice House this evening.
Would have enjoyed Ice House immensely, I'm sure, and the Eurogliders. In fact, that whole Australian rock and roll sequence, it was great to see Little Paddy and Cold Joy and the Deltones still rocking around after all these years. Fantastic to see. And Peter, of course, he was around then with his pseudo brother. Yeah. The Allen brothers.
Great entertainer, gone on to such wonderful things. And we had Peter last week on Good Morning Australia. He is going off to Broadway. In fact, he was telling me earlier he's leaving on Thursday, goes into rehearsal for the show, and it's a show he had a lot to do in writing. But he tells me he's got to sign up for a 2-year contract. Now, you know, you and I both know how long that is on Broadway when you're doing so many matinees. But the promoters believe that's the only way they can get in and out of those very expensive shows, because it's very expensive on Broadway these days.
Absolutely. Well, the Prince and Princess, well, the Princess is still with Russell Hitchcock. I think Prince Charles has moved on to Ivor Davies.
I wonder if she's got a few albums of Air Supply at home.
I think she might. I think she'd like a good love song. They've certainly produced and sung many great love songs. There's David Mitchell, who would think would be breathing a great big sigh of relief at this moment and wiping his brow, happy that the concert is in fact over. But of course the Prince and Princess of Wales obviously having a wonderful time. And there's the lady who drew an enormous response from the crowd when she walked out. We all love her. Olivia Newton-John. And next to her, our latest star, Kylie Minogue.
I must admit, hearing Olivia and Cliff Richard sing that song Suddenly, I think is one of the prettiest songs I've heard in a long time. And what a beautiful woman. Of course, mum now, and she's got her baby, Chloe. Obviously, motherhood does agree with her.
Now, I knew the Prince would probably have a long chat with Campbell McComas, because Campbell did the Professor Cookson routine so beautifully. A very short history of Australia in about 4 minutes, but done in Campbell's inimitable fashion. He is really a marvellous young, well, not so young, I guess, Australian comedian, been around quite a while.
Very
popular on the Master of Ceremonies dinner-speaking circuit, he is.
I gather Campbell was actually a lawyer, and he gave it all away to go and fool people.
And he's certainly doing it very well.
Same thing, really, just different places.
Look, the Prince Charles is just having the best time, happy and smiling and enjoying himself immensely. And as I said earlier, they usually take a few minutes to do this, but they're chatting and merrily walking along the line.
So relaxed. I was talking to Michael Parkinson the other night, and he was saying how happy that he knows, after having spoken to Charles and Diana, that they're very happy to come to Australia. And he said it's amazing that Australia gets so much out of them. He said very rarely do you get the royals being so close to people in London. They are a little more removed. I don't really know the reason for that, perhaps because maybe that's home, that's what the British expect. But he said it's wonderful to see the royals so relaxed over here, and for Australians to be getting so much out of them.
Indeed. There's a shot of the Prime Minister moving up the line. behind the Princess of Wales, having a chat to everybody too, and he looks quite happy and animated. Of course, big day for him tomorrow, Australia Day, and a lot of official engagements, of course, a lot of them including the Prince and Princess of Wales, when they officially hand over the Young Endeavour, Britain's birthday gift to Australia for the Bicentennial.
Well, it certainly is bedlam, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, behind us. There's thousands of photographers, cameramen, right around, from right around the country, right around the world, as the Prince and Princess of Wales go up the line. And of course, Cliff Richard's there.
Oh, yes, well, he'd be an old favourite.
Oh, he's still singing well, isn't he?
Well, I think he intimated the fact that he's 47. He said he wouldn't be around for our tricentenary because he'd be 147. But still performing beautifully and still enjoys his rock and roll, I'm sure. Cliff?
And he still looks about 27.
Yeah, isn't he annoying?
He could still be singing I'm all going on a summer holiday, or however it went in the old days.
That's the one. We're all going on
That's right. We're all going on a summer holiday.
Cliff in the shadows. Doesn't he look great?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, everybody's enjoying themselves tonight, obviously. It has been a super occasion and a marvellous prelude, as I said earlier, to our birthday party tomorrow, when Australia turns 200 on that day in 1788, when Arthur Phillip lobbed at Farm Cove and said, well, this looks like an all right place
Port
to me.
Jackson, as it were.
Yeah, indeed.
Now, also, Brian May, ladies and gentlemen, is the chap standing speaking with Diana, the Princess of Wales. He's the conductor, and what a fantastic job. I don't know how many pieces in the orchestra tonight, but there must have been 120,
indeed,
I would imagine.
Played, yes.
And the arrangements, which Brian did, were absolutely sensational, and a job so well done. You know, Tim, I'm just looking out our window here, which we're from the foyer of the entertainment centre, and the street is just
jam-packed with people.
Chockers.
The Premier of New South Wales, Barry Unsworth, is out there ready to say goodbye, because this, of course, is a New South Wales Government, New South Wales Bicentennial Authority concert in conjunction with Network 10 that we brought to you live around the country.
And there you have a beautiful close-up of the Princess. And that Bruce Oldfield cream satin suit. And the crowd is just loving it. The crowd is just loving seeing Diana. One of the most, well, the most photographed woman in the world.
Without doubt.
One of the most beautiful. And besides the Queen, the most popular.
Indeed, and so is Charles, ever since his early days here in Australia. Of course, Campbell McComas alluded to his time at Timbertop, the school in Victoria that he attended, and he loves the place. He comes back, I think, every time he's invited, or tries to, because he loves coming here, he loves the people, and I think he likes getting out and enjoying the horses and all the other things that he does while he's in Australia. And of course, they've escaped a very bitter, cold winter in England.
Our Prime Minister just bid farewell to Charles and Di as they head off to Admiralty House. Tomorrow is a very big day. The Opera House, they'll be overseeing all the celebrations.
Handing over the Young Endeavour, of course.
Yes.
As their official present from Britain to Australia. So all it really remains for us to say is we really do hope you've enjoyed the concert. I'm sure you must. And Kerry and I will see you, or most of you anyway, at 6:30 in the morning Eastern Summer Time for Good Morning Australia. So we should say...
Yes. Good evening, Australia. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
This program was proudly brought to you by Nissan Australia.
We at Nissan Australia were proud to bring you this truly magnificent special, a highlight of Australia's bicentennial celebrations. This nation has certainly achieved much in its short history, and like all Australians, I know everyone at Nissan Australia is looking forward to the challenges and the opportunities of the future. We trust you enjoyed the program, and thank you for watching.